Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a detailed contouring and highlighting video. Carry on watching and let's just get right into it. So starting with clean and fresh skin, obviously all my skincare is done. I'm going in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is one of my favorites. No matter how many people tell me that priming your skin is like unnecessary, I really find that it actually makes my makeup sit well and it makes it stay a little longer than usual. So I'm going to massage the primer into my skin to activate the grip of this primer. Everything you put on this primer just sits right, just holds onto your skin and just lasts a little more longer. So yeah, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation. I'm in the shade Chestnut. I'm going in with about 2.5 pumps. You can go in with more or less depending on the coverage that you want. This foundation is medium to buildable or medium to full coverage, I believe. And I'm going to blend it into my skin with the CVL Beauty foundation brush. I'm going to make sure that every part of my face is super blended out. This brush really helps in doing that. You can use any brush and obviously you can use a damp beauty blender, whatever suits you, but I like to go in with a foundation brush to make sure that everything is well spread out on my face and very well blended out before I go in with a damp beauty blender. So I'm making sure that all the crevices and all the corners of my face do not have any foundation sitting there and waiting and going to be caked up. I just make sure that I blend everything in super nicely. I'm going to go ahead and go over my face with a damp beauty blender just to make sure that everything is well blended out and just take off any excess foundation that might be left behind. I find doing this just really therapeutic. I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzer Cream and the shade Medium, and I'm going to go over the perimeter of my face. I'm going in with a brush from Real Techniques. I think this is called the pointed foundation brush. I really do not remember. So I'm going over my hairline, like over my forehead. I already went into the hollows of my cheeks and I'm going over my jawline to hide my double chin, and I'm going into highlights with the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I'm going in under my eyes, just hide my dark under eyes, and I'm going over my chin, the mustache area, the bridge of my nose, and of course my forehead. I know that there are so many trends that are coming out these days, but believe me, this is like the OG highlighting technique, and it always has to do with blending. So if you blend right, your product is going to look well on your face. It's going to sit well on your face. So I'm going in with the Real Techniques. I think this is called the blending, the sculpting brush. I really do not remember, but I would put the name down in the video or down in the description box. You want to blend upwards when it comes to your cheekbones, and you want to blend into your hairline when it comes to your forehead, and you want to blend upwards when it comes to your chin area, the jawline area, just to make sure that everything is looking nice and tight. That's the whole point of contouring, by the way, to sculpt out the face. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend out my highlights with the Real Techniques contour brush. I'm just going in with slow patting motions, not swiping too hard, just patting the product into my skin. Okay, obviously I fast forwarded this part, so it looks like I'm doing it fast, but I didn't want this video to be super long. I know you guys are smart, you guys get what I'm doing. So I'm just blending out under my eyes. As I said, I'm just doing slow patting motions and not swiping. If you swipe, you would move the entire base of your face, which that's not the goal of this at all. You just want to make sure to pat slowly and gently and blend out everything in the corners of your face, around your mouth, everywhere. Now I'm going in with a smaller brush, a fluffy brush, to make sure that my contour on my nose is not the highlights on my nose is not moving away like that. It's just staying exactly where I want it to. I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer in the shade Toasted Almond. I'm going to be applying that under my eyes. This applicator is like heaven. It has this cooling effect. I really love this applicator. So I'm just putting it into, you know, the innermost corners of my under eyes, just to give me a more highlighted look. And I'm going to blend it out with a damp beauty blender, just to make sure that I'm taking off any excess products and just, you know, blending everything super nicely. Of course, you can skip this step. You can just use one concealer if that's what you want, but I personally like a really highlighted under eye. So yeah, this is one of the steps that I usually like to take. I generally crease under my eyes, so I like to do more blending over there, just to make sure that everything or the product is not sitting there. Now I'm going over my contour without any extra products. I'm just using the brush I used previously, just to make sure that the concealer hasn't gone overboard, just to make sure that everything is sitting nice on my face. I told you guys that blending is key. Blending is key. It doesn't really matter where you put the products. It matters, but blending is much more important. So if you put a product somewhere and don't blend it out well, it's not going to look right on your face. Now I'm going over the sides of the bridge of my nose with the brush that I used to apply the contour products, not with extra products. I just went in with the same brush just to, you know, sculpt my nose out. This is unnecessary if you don't want to sculpt your nose out. This is a personal choice, but I still wanted to sculpt my nose and show you guys how I do. That is why I inserted it. Now I'm going over to blend out any creases under my eyes. I told you guys that I'm prone to creases under my eyes, so I like to go over, you know, my mouth, the top of my mouth and the mustache area and the smile lines, just to make sure that everything is nice and blended out before going into set. I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder in the shade Blondie. Now I'm going over with a very light layer of powder. I don't bake right away. I go into set before I go into bake. So I'm pushing the powder into my under eyes ever so lightly, making sure that I'm setting the product. I find that going into bake right after you apply your concealer makes your product look a little cakey. So I like to set it before going into bake. So yeah, I'm just pushing the powder under my eyes, making sure that everything is super airbrushed. I'm using a damp beauty blender, by the way. Now I'm going over to set my mustache area and my smile line area. I crease over there as well, so yeah, I like to set those areas. Now I'm going in with the butt of the beauty blender. I just dip it into the powder, and then I go over, you know, my face, just to make sure that everything is really set and sitting well. Now I'm just setting the highlights I applied on my nose, making sure that everything again is sitting nice and pretty. Yep, I did my brows off camera. I have a detailed brow tutorial. I'll link it down below or above. Now I'm just going into bake under my eyes. I'm going ham with the setting powder. I'm baking everywhere. I apply the concealer and I am doing the reverse contour. Of course, you can skip this step. Yeah, and I'm setting my smile lines. That's really important to me. For eye makeup, I'm using the Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions eyeshadow palette. I'm going in with that light orange shade and I'm going to blend that into my crease. I'm going in with that light brown shade or burnt orange shade. I'm gonna go into my crease with that color as well, just to make sure I have a nice gradient going. I want to create a really nice smoked out brown eyeshadow look, and I wanted to have this warm undertone. I really love those kind of looks. Yeah, so I'm just blending this burnt orange into my crease. I'm gonna go ahead and go into that dark brown shade. I'm going to pat that onto the center of my lid with a shader brush. I'm just going to pack that onto my lid, and as soon as I get the amount of coverage that I want, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. But yeah, for now I'm just going to keep patting that onto the center of my lid. Now I'm going back in with a mixture of the burnt orange shade and the dark brown shade that I just used, and I'm just blending out right on top of where I applied the dark brown shade to make sure that it looks nice and blended out and has like a really nice gradient. I don't want there to be like harsh lines between the colors that I applied. When it comes to smoky eyes, it really has to do with a lot of blending, so you want to be patient and make sure that you are blending the eye makeup like really well. I went in with a flat shader brush just to apply a little more of the brown, and I'm going back into my crease with the first transition color that I used to blend out the edges of the eye so that it doesn't look too harsh. Now I'm tight lining my eyes with some coal dark eyeliner just to, you know, give me some definition. I wanted to have that intense look. Now I'm going into the shader brush that I used with the same dark brown shade just to smoke out my lower lash line. I really wanted this eye look to look a little more intense because I've been a little lazy these days with creating eye looks, and I wanted to serve you guys with a little more of, you know, options, just to make sure that you guys, you know, I got you guys. Now I'm going into this eyeshadow palette from Juvia's Place. I'm using that yellow gold color. I'm putting that into my inner corners. I created a similar look when I was creating my eyebrow tutorial, and you guys loved it, so I decided to recreate the look. I already applied my eyelashes off camera. Now I'm going in with a Real Technique setting brush to dust off and blend in any excess powder to make sure that everything everything is really nice and blended out, you want to use a small fluffy, any fluffy brush you have available so you can get into the corners. Now I'm going in to go all over my face with the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Powder Foundation. I'm in the shade 390. I use a big brush so that I'm able to, you know, just go all over my face, and just really lightly, nothing too heavy, just to bring everything together. I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker bronzer in the shade Coconutty. I'm just going over the areas that I contoured, which is the perimeter of my face, the hollows of my cheeks, and my jawline area. You can definitely skip cream bronzing or cream contouring to just go ahead with a you know, bronzer, but I just like that I use a cream bronzer or a cream contour because it's just really nice. And I'm going in with the Juvia Place Zulu eyeshadow palette. I'm using that really bright orange as a blush because it's really pretty on my skin tone. And I'm also gonna go in and just, you know, give use a little more blush from Milani. You want to, you know, smile and put the blush on the apples of your cheeks and push it upwards. Like, do not just apply it just there, just make it upwards, like the way I'm smiling, so that it appears really pretty. Yeah, that's the easiest way I can show you to apply your blush. So yeah, everything is sitting nice. I'm going ahead to set my face with the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face Setting Spray. This stuff is really bomb. It holds your makeup very nicely. Yeah, so I'm going to apply some mascara, and yeah, you know, I'll be done with the eyes. For highlighter, I'm going in with the Huda Beauty Diamond Bomb highlighter, and I'm using the Vita Joseph Classic highlighter brush. You want to smile and put it right on top of your cheeks, like on top of where you apply the blush, to make sure it looks really nice. I hate that line that it's like just sitting on your cheeks. I really don't like it. It doesn't look flattering at all. And I'm also applying highlighter onto the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose, as well as my, you know, brow bone. And for lip color, I'm using the ColoredRaine matte lipstick in the shade Tootsie, and I'm just going to apply that all over my lip. I'm going over my lips with a dark brown lip liner just to make sure it looks a little more, you know, pouty, and you know, because this is a really dark color, I wanted it to be precise. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video. Everything I use will be listed down in the description box. I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.